One of the biggest reasons professionals never start creating content isn't because they don't know enough, it's because they sit down in front of a blank page and ask themselves, what should I talk about today? They think content creators somehow wake up every morning with an inspirational muse of brilliant ideas, and that's not how it works. The best creators don't invent ideas, they collect them. So today I'm going to show you a simple system that will help you come up with your first 10 content ideas in 30 minutes or less. So one of the biggest mindset shifts you need to make is this. Stop trying to create content. Start documenting your expertise. If you've been working in your profession for 3, 5, or 10 years, you've already solved hundreds of problems. You've answered countless questions from clients. You've made mistakes. You've learned the lessons, and that's your content. Your job isn't to become more creative out of nowhere. Your job is to organize what you already know. Once you understand that, content creation becomes dramatically easier for the average small business owner or consultant. So start with your audience. The first mistake people make is asking, what do I want to talk about? Instead, ask, what does my audience need help with? Your content exists to solve problems. Every piece of content should answer a question, remove a fear, explain a process, or help someone make a better decision. When you shift your focus away from yourself and towards your audience, ideas start appearing out of nowhere. Think about the questions people ask before they hire you. Think about the mistakes they make before they even know they need your help. Those are your videos. Your audience is constantly telling you what they want, and most professionals just aren't listening. Build out your content buckets. Instead of searching for random ideas every week, create a few categories you'll always pull from. I like to think about the content in different buckets. Questions people ask, common mistakes, tutorials, misconceptions, personal stories, and controversial opinions. Industry updates can also be thrown in there as well when they're relevant. Once you have those buckets, every idea has somewhere to go. Instead of staring at a blank page, wondering what to make, you're simply filling one of your buckets out. Over time, each bucket grows. You don't need to remember every single idea, you just need a place to collect them. And this is one of the biggest differences between creators who stay consistent and those who eventually burn out. One person starts from zero every week. The other has an idea, an entire library of ideas waiting to be recorded. So look at your own business. Here's something almost every professional overlooks. Your business is already producing content ideas every single day. Client email questions, meetings, your consultation calls, sales calls, the projects you have, every challenge you've encountered, every success story. They're all potentials for content ideas. The best video usually isn't something you dreamed up while taking a shower. There's something that actually happened to you this week. Maybe a client asked a question you've answered 100 times. Maybe you saw someone make a very expensive, crucial mistake. Maybe a project you had reminded you of a lesson you learned years ago. And those moments can become content. If you simply start paying attention throughout your workday, you realize your business is feeding your ideas constantly. Now, next I want to tackle this. Use AI the right way. So this is where AI becomes incredibly useful, not to replace your expertise, but to help you organize it. Let's say you're an engineer. You already know your subject. Now, ask AI something like, what are 20 questions homeowners ask for starting a construction or land development project? Or what misconceptions do people have about structural engineering projects? Or a good follow-up would be, what follow-up questions would someone ask after watching this video? Now you've turned one idea into 5 or 10, and that's incredibly powerful. But here's the important part. AI isn't your assistant, it isn't your experience, and it hasn't spent years working with clients. It doesn't know your stories. It doesn't know your mistakes. It can't offer transformation. It doesn't know what actually works out there in the real world. So that's your job. Use AI to brainstorm, to organize, refine, but don't let AI become your voice. The reason people will eventually hire you isn't because your content sounds intelligent, it's because your experience makes it believable. Next, you need to build an idea bank. Here's the habit that separates consistent creators from everyone else. Never rely on your inspiration. Keep a running document, and I don't care if it's a notes app on your phone, a Google Doc, Notion, Airtable template, a spreadsheet. Just use whatever you'll actually refer to. Every time an idea pops into your head, write it down. Every question, conversation, lesson that you have, an important client story, a crucial mistake. And don't judge whether it's a good idea, just collect it for now. Over time, you'll have 50, maybe even hundreds. This is very, very possible, and I currently have a doc just like that. Now recording day becomes incredibly simple. You're not asking, what am I going to make today? You're asking, which one of these ideas that I've been jotting down should I record and share first? And that's a completely different problem for you. Here's what I want you to do after this video. Open your notes app, create a page called Content Ideas. then just spend 20 minutes filling it out. Start with the questions people ask you, add mistakes that people make, write down the lessons you've learned as an industry expert, and think about the different projects you've worked on. Then you use your favorite AI tool to expand those ideas into related topics. By the time you're finished, you'll probably have 10, 20, or maybe even 30 really solid content ideas. And this is not because you suddenly became more creative, but because you finally built a system for capturing what was already there in your head and what was already there in your experience. The people who succeed in this with content aren't usually the most creative. They're the ones with the best systems. So stop trying to invent the perfect idea every single week. Instead, build a process for collecting ideas as they naturally happen. Pay close attention to your audience. Organize your expertise and use AI as a tool, not as a replacement for your personal experience. And keep adding to your idea bank every single week. Do that, and I promise you'll spend far less time wondering what to post and far more time actually creating content. If you want help turning those ideas into a complete authority building strategy with content, download my free 90-day authority roadmap using the link in the description and pinned comment down below. It'll show you exactly how to build a content system that consistently attracts opportunities through your expertise. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.